Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric and the continuing Halloween episodes of the Unported playlist. And if you've been watching my channel for a very long time, you're going to know that I've already talked about this game once before. But honestly, it's been a few years, I got a lot bigger audience, and damn it, this game is just that incredible. We have to play it one more time. Before I get too far involved, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, that notification bell definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. And if you don't join up, I too will pile drive you into the ground. All jokes aside though, I absolutely love Night Slashers. This game is incredible, and it is one of the most underrated beat-em-up games of all time. I love beat-em-ups, I love 2D arcade games, and I love horror-based games. And this game has absolutely everything you want. You've got these body bags just rolling out and zombies popping up, and the gore is absolutely spectacular. Now, if you're familiar with the history of this game, you're going to be thinking, why is it on the Unported playlist? This did get brought over to the Switch, but there's two problems with that port. One, there's lag in the controls, which drives me nuts, but two, and most importantly, it has been censored. There is no real blood like this game. The go to hell sign when you need to progress is missing as well. And if you're going to play this game, you have to play the original version of it. And that's why, outside of the fact it's Halloween and I want to hype up some spooky games, that I consider this still not quite ported. But moving on right to the first boss fight, Frankenstein here, it has a big vibe to it. It's kind of like classic horror films mixed with some things that are just zombie based. It's a mishmash of different horror genres, but what it is doing is absolutely spectacular. I would say that as far as the beat 'em up genre is concerned, this game is the #1 hidden gem that I wish more people would play. And if you play one game this Halloween from Unported playlist, make it this one. Because trust me, if you like beat 'em ups, you're gonna love it. And you get a decent amount of story too. You see, it's in Japanese, and you want to play the Japanese ROM because the English ones are going to be censored as well as an arcade board. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but does it really matter? That guy's got some amazing feathered hair, and that's all we really need to know about. But Data East made incredible games, and a lot of their games never got the credit they deserved. Now, if you want to buy an original PCB of this game, if you can find it, and trust me, you can't just go on eBay and buy this any day of the week, bring your wallet. You're talking at least $1,000. I've seen them go upwards in mint condition of $2,000. Is it worth it? Now, if I got a good offer for this board, I would buy it maybe at $1,000. I definitely wouldn't pay $2. But the great part is it emulates perfectly, so if you want to experience a brand new horror beat-em-up game this Halloween, you can download this, be playing it in about 2 minutes, but maybe wait 5 more minutes for me to finish the video at least. And you'll see here we're getting up to a carriage chase with Dracula, not Dracula. I love how this game changes itself up. Sometimes it's a straight beat 'em up, sometimes you're running and throwing these flying tiger knees into these clearly teen wolf werewolves, the Michael J. Fox film. There are some movie touches in this that aren't in the horror genre because that movie's more of like a comedy. But honestly, the combat in this game is perfect. A beat 'em up needs to have nice thick strikes to it. You want to really feel like your punches and kicks are impactful. And the other thing is you want to make sure that when you're lined up with your enemy, your strikes hit. Some beat 'em ups, if you're off even like a millimeter, it feels like on the screen, you're going to end up missing your opponent. This game does none of that. The combat is spectacular, and the animations for some of the special moves are spectacular as well. The art in this game is absolutely stunning. The 2D sprites, the backgrounds, everything about it is doing exactly what I love. But there's one component to the game that you need to hear to understand. The main theme of this game is one of my favorite tracks in 2D arcade gaming history, so go ahead and listen, and I'll come back and sing this game's praises even more.
You caught me off guard! Power Sword! What? What? You caught me off guard! What?
Now maybe you'll disagree with me, and that's totally fine. You can leave me a comment down below, but that is one of my absolute favorite 16-bit soundtracks of all time. That one track there just has everything I need. It's got that horror vibe with a really jazzy element in it. And I love all the details that have been put into this game, as well as we're fighting this golden knight with this sword here. In a moment you'll see when we defeat him, the animation is just filled with little bits of detail. The sword has an unhappy face as he melts away from existence. It's such a small detail that's not necessary, but the developers and the artists of this game put every single square inch filled with detail. Even those guys hanging in the background trying to shake free from their shackles. Each inch of the screen is just oozing with detail and some really good gore effects. That zombie's brain just exploded as he hit the ground, and that's just the type of thing that does it for me. I would say right now definitively, this is the best horror beat-em-up game of all time, and I love the original Splatterhouse, but this is just ever so slightly better in my opinion. And you get a choice of 3 characters as well, all with their own special attacks, so there's definitely going to be a character for you. I like just kind of playing around and showing you what characters exist. And of course, rule of law, if you're making a 2D beat 'em up game, you have to have an elevator section. Yes, it's just a cheap way to artificially prolong the runtime of a game, but it's become so endemic of the genre that any good elevator sequence has to be there. It's in Splatterhouse, and it's in Night Slashers as well. But this game is just, to me, such a fun time, and I do not understand why it is not more hyped up on the best beat 'em up of all time lists. Sometimes you'll see it on the best obscure arcade games of all time lists, but this is right up there with things like Streets of Rage and Final Fight. It is just that incredibly good. The smile on my face every time I play this game is immense, and I was excited to recapture this and talk about it again on the channel to try to get more people to play it and love it. And you even get bonus rounds, and right here we're going to have to hit that button as fast as we can to throw this zombie. And I love that all of the people in the background spectating are also zombies, and you just explode the zombie and you're doing zombie bowling, and if that is not fun, then I honestly do not know what is. Now, I did read online that a company has apparently licensed the rights to Night Slashers to make a remake of this game, and that was announced back in September of 2021, but I have heard absolutely nothing about it since. Now, I do record these videos in advance, of course, so maybe something's happened between the time of recording and the time that you're watching it now, but hopefully that remake's still in the works. Although I think this is such a perfect game, it really doesn't need it that badly. I'd still be curious to see what's coming of that. We're getting very close to my favorite part of the game in and of itself, but first, you do get to have some refights with the bosses from previous levels, some of which I already haven't shown you, and you got the stone golem right here. And once we knock him out of commission, we get to go to the next screen and play my favorite part of this game, hands down. We're fighting a ghost helicopter with zombie pilots and zombie soldiers in it. It's not a very fair fight because it's a real pain to try to jump high enough to hit it, but what other game do you get to fight a helicopter that's a ghost? I just straight up love it. It's stupid, it's hokey, it's cheesy, and I am there for it 7 out of 7 days of the week. And the best thing you can do is just use your special attacks to try to knock the life off, because it will go missing off the side of the screen. Like I said, it's kind of cheap, but I love the aesthetic of it, and I can't complain. And now we're going on to the death fight. Kind of looks a little bit like Death from Rondo of Blood. Definitely some similar vibes there, but of course, how many ways can you really portray death? You'll see that I am doing a charge up attack. It takes a little bit more of their life bar up, but honestly it takes so long to charge. It is not a mechanic I generally use when I'm playing the game, just because there's so many enemies on screen at once. Odds are you're going to get hit before you actually get that charged attack out. But maybe when you play you'll do a better job than I will. It's totally up to you. But like I said, Night Slashers to me is just a perfect game. It has everything I need out of an arcade game. It has absolutely amazing 2D sprites and some great gore for a horror game. I love watching their heads just explode on screen. The action is perfect. All of the strikes have great impact feels, and there's definitely never an issue where you feel like you should be hitting your opponent, but you're just not. And it has an absolutely amazing soundtrack. Also, the length is perfect. By the time you finish the game, you feel like you've had a full experience. It doesn't overstay its welcome, and it doesn't end too early. But this is the final boss. Now, if you want to watch a long play of this, there's already been one uploaded on my channel from a few years ago, so there'll be a different long play this Saturday for you guys to check out. But trust me, if you're into a 2D horror beat 'em up this Halloween season, there's one and one game only I recommend you guys play, and that's Night Slashers. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.